I know it's weird. I'm making a video. I know it's shocking. Another video on the YouTube of Croesus Gaming, guys. I'm doing this video because there's been a lot of talk on Diablo 4 about the classes and a lot of opinions being thrown around on how certain classes aren't good, about how certain classes are garbage. And one class in particular, I'm really shocked by because I don't know if people just aren't trying different skills or I don't know what it is. Druid. Druid is possibly one of the strongest classes in the game. Now, keep in mind, these are my opinions, and this is from my experience as well. But when I was fighting a Shava, the world boss, I was dealing out thousands of damage in seconds. In seconds. Now, there are multiple build types with the Druid. You can go werewolf, you could go werebear, you could go elemental, you could go a full pet build if you wanted to. You could go a split between werewolf and werebear. There are aspects from legendary items that are built for that, for switching between and going back and forth. I don't remember the aspect exactly, but you get a bonus if you go from werebear to werewolf and vice versa. Or I believe the aspect is you get a bonus if you go into werewolf and use an attack, and then it also gives you a bonus if you go into werebear. So you're thinking, oh, well, I could use this on my werewolf and just attack with a werewolf. Switch back and forth. Use two different skills. There's no reason why you can't. It's actually it sounds like a really fun build. We don't have the time in the beta to test that. Well, I mean, I'm sure somebody does. I could, but I'm not going to. I went elemental. I went a mix of wind and a mix of earth. So what I did was, and I'll show you guys here. Let me zoom out. As you all know, you have your white damage, your basic damage, and you've got the different skills in the first category, the basic skills, and then you've got your core skills. Those are your two. Those are your two main abilities right there. For this build, it's these two abilities right here. You don't even really need anything else except companions, and I'll go into that in a little bit. So basic skills: wind shear, with grants 3 additional spirit for each enemy hit beyond the first. You want to generate spirit with this build. You need to, because you need to get landslide out as quickly as possible. Also, you're going to be switching back and forth because there's an aspect for that. And if we look at my gear here, I believe it is. Give me a second. Right here. Casting a storm skill grants your earth skills 40.5% critical strike damage for 4 seconds. You will be critting a lot, especially with this. Landslides earth pillars each strike a second time and deal an 11% bonus damage per hit. So you're getting the bonus damage on the landslide. You're probably critting. You want to get your crits up with your rings. My crit chance is not great. I have been looking for better rings that increase my crit chance a little bit more, or just any gear that really increases my crit chance a little bit more. I really haven't found anything yet. My crit chance, I believe, that's the wrong button, is about 13.5%. Yep, 13.5%. So I'm critting, with how often I'm hitting, I'm critting quite a bit. This is another aspect that is so important to honestly any druid. I could not see not using this specific aspect on any druid. Core skills deal an additional 16% damage for each active companion. If you pair that with wolf, you have 2 wolves, that's 32%. You pair that with 2 ravens, that's another 32% for 64%. And I don't know 100%, but I'm pretty sure it's for each. It's not each active companion skill, it's each active companion. As you guys will see, I actually have. Where are my pets? Oh, I'm in town. Let's go into this dungeon so I can show you. I have 3 wolves, I have 4 ravens, and I have a vine creeper. I have all that because there's another aspect that gives you 1 additional companion. It doesn't double your vine creeper for some reason. Not a big deal though. But it gives you an additional wolf, as you see here, and a 2 addition, or no, 1 additional raven, right? I'm pretty sure. Bear with me, guys. This is the first time I've ever done any kind of build guide or anything. But I feel like this is important information that people need to know. I do a stupid amount of damage with my druid. My druid is, I have not seen any build in the game do the kind of damage I do. Not even sorceresses. They're underpowered compared to my build. I've played a sorceress. That was my first level 25 character. I played a shard sorceress. I know a lot of people are going lightning. A lot of people swear by lightning. Shard sorceress with Nova, instant delete. You freeze everything. You start using shards and everything around you melts. It's a really great build. It's really fun. It kills more efficiently than this build, but it does not have the power that this build has. This is a very small AoE build, but also single target damage is insane. And in fact, if you guys want to see it, I'll show you. Let me show you that one aspect real quick. Gain 1 additional companion. In addition, your companion skills deal 150% bonus damage. So, it's possible to make a companion build as well. There's another aspect, I'm not wearing it right now, that turns your wolves into werewolves and gives them a rabies ability. And that I was using that for a little bit, and they were actually doing pretty legit damage. If I chose to stack more into companions, I could have. As you guys will see with a lot of my skills, I am capped out on skill points. I can't get any more. With beta, we're locked at 25. I have the 2 additional skill points from the, what is it, fervor? I forget what it is. I can't look at it right now. Yes, I can. View rewards. From renown. Fervor. It's not fervor, it's renown. I have the 2 additional skill points from this, so I have a total of 27 skill points. Give or take 1. Could be wrong about 27. So you'll see my points. I don't have any ultimate skills. You don't need them. Not with this build. Absolutely not. I'm sure Petrify probably does pretty good damage, but it didn't seem necessary for this build. And I would rather have it in other stuff. This is just a little bit of buff to earth and nature and storm skills, which is everything you use. That's going to be your wind shear, which is storm and nature. That's the wind shear right there. Storm and nature. And it also buffs landslide, which is earth and nature. So you're getting the double buffs to those. Also, a point in hurricane with 15% chance to make enemies vulnerable. This is something you're going to pop when there's a lot of enemies near you and you need to kind of cut them down fast. A couple points in this just to increase the duration of it a little bit. Ideally, you want a lot more skill points into other stuff to make this build grow even more, even greater. But again, we're locked at 25 for beta. Here is your ravens. So this gives you 2 additional ravens to the 1 you already have. With that aspect that gives you another companion, you have a total of 4 ravens. That's 64% increased damage just in ravens. And then you've got 3 wolves because of the aspect. That's another, what is that? 48? Yeah, 48. 48% increased damage. And then you've got the vine creeper for another 16%. Now, keep in mind that aspect that we're talking about is a 16% for a couple reasons. I don't know if anyone has, well, I'm sure people have noticed, but if you guys don't know, when you put an aspect on a 2-handed weapon, it gets a 100% power increase. So normally this aspect would be a minimum 6% up to a max of 8%. I happen to find one that rolled perfect, and I put it on this particular legendary staff, and it gives me 16%. It's insane damage. It's great damage. As you guys will see, if you go to my landslide ability, I'm dealing 713 to 871 damage. That's just plain damage. That's just vanilla damage. That's without critting. That's without overpowers. It's insane. Also, when you strike an immobilized or stunned enemy with landslide, additional Pillar of Earth is formed, another chance to crit. It's absolutely insane, and you guys will see it here. I'm going to play it a little bit. I think you guys will really enjoy what you see. Druid has been amazing to play. The werewolf is super fun to play. So landslide, wind shear, landslide, wind shear, landslide, wind shear. Just melts everything. I mean, it's not hard at all. And see this guy? One landslide, two landslides. Now I'm out of spirit. I'm gonna generate. Why am I not generating? There we go. And landslide, dead. I mean, they're nothing. And you're playing Druid, so you're also getting Fortify from your wolves. I believe you're getting Fortify. I know you can. I don't know if I have it from them. I do not. I'm getting Fortify from somewhere. If I had actually sat down and worked out this video and scripted it, you guys would have a lot better information. I'm sorry about that. But if you guys watch, that was 496 damage with that landslide. We'll see if we can get proc some good damage. 602. I'm not critting. 1300. 1300 is on the low end of crits. I've seen as high as 3000, I think. There's 1100. That's that. What is that? Skills. Okay, that's good. That'll give us a chance. There's 1500. 500, not great. 1400. When I was fighting a Shava, the world boss, I'm constantly wind strike, landslide, wind strike, landslide. Okay, well, here's a good test. I didn't expect this to happen. Let's see if we can take out the butcher. Oh god. Oh, this is not good. So I have ran into the butcher once. And he was quite nasty. He killed me quite quick. I don't know if I can take him out. I'm gonna try. I don't want him to hit me, because as tanky as I might be, he is still pretty nasty from as far as I've been told. He's actually not doing terrible damage. I don't know if I've gotten hit by anything. I'm gonna generate a little bit of... Did you guys see right there? 2100 damage. I think there was another 1600, 1500. I mean, we are melting the butcher. This isn't difficult, guys. So we're gonna hit him with some crowd control. It's gonna give us better crits. I have healed once against him. There's another hit from him. No damage. That's the thing with Druid is very tanky. There's 1666 damage. How appropriate. I'm going to heal again. Just make sure I'm topped off. 1600 damage. Stupid amounts of damage. He's taking out my wolves quite easily. But that's not a problem. We're going to pop a couple of these. Bring him into the windstorm. He's vulnerable. Which... Oh! I got him. Oh, and he bleeds a lot. How's that for a Druid build guide? I really wanted to show you guys a good test of the Druid's power, and I could not have planned better for the Butcher to show up. That I've only ever seen him once, and that was very early into this weekend's beta. And I was still low level werewolf, and he smacked me twice, and I was dead. Now that I'm a level 25 druid and a very, very strong elemental, it was quite easy. I mean, I'm still tanky. Even though I'm an elemental druid and I'm not a werebear, I'm still quite tanky. For a spellcaster, yeah. And I might not put out damage as quickly as a sorceress, say, but it's the large amount of damage it makes up for it. It's such a great thing. The butcher just now, he almost killed me, but that's because I wasn't being as careful as I probably should have towards the end there. And yeah, what did he give me? Okay. Wrath skills, it's not great. Well, it's crappy. But there's a guy. Storm. Storm. There. Storm. Yep. I mean, just everything melts so easily. Bosses are not a problem. I beat Ashava without dying. The trick with Ashava is just to stay under her. She's actually quite easy. Landslide, 1,000 damage. Another landslide. Vulnerable landslide, 840. I mean, as you guys are seeing, there's no challenge here. I mean, not in the beta. I do expect the game to be harder later. If you guys are wondering, my difficulty is on the hardest difficulty it can currently be on. That's going to be veteran, I believe it is. I believe that's what it's called. I don't know how to check. But it is the second out of the two options for difficulty that we have in beta currently. If you guys are thinking about builds when this game comes out, Druid's a strong choice. Druid's catching a lot of crap on the forums. But to be honest, almost every build is catching a lot of crap on the forums. I don't know if it's just inexperienced people playing Diablo that have not played a harder Diablo. Maybe they're coming from Diablo 3. Maybe Diablo 3 was their first Diablo. If that's the case, this might be a tough transition for a lot of people. Diablo 3 it's a lazy Diablo. It's a great Diablo. It's a fun Diablo. You can really push yourself to the limits with greater rifting. But to do everything you want to do, to run a full season, to do a season by yourself in Diablo 3 is incredibly easy. The game is very forgiving, and it really just gives you everything you need on a silver platter. There is no real loot grinds in Diablo 3, not like you would see in Diablo 2. This is much more like Diablo 2 than it is Diablo 3. Again, these are my opinions. Take them or leave them. You can even argue with them. That's fine. But people coming from Diablo 2 are going to have a hard time with it. Or Diablo 3, I'm sorry. Might have a hard time with this. Because it is a lot more like Diablo 2. It's not easy. There are some very challenging things to it. And it is a lot slower paced as well. So I like it. I mean, as you guys see, I'm running through with my Druid. No problem whatsoever. Same thing with my Sorceress. The Frost Shard build with Nova is insane. Unfortunately, this beta, we did not get to see Spirit Boons from the Druid. I really wish we would have gotten to be able to. But I have a feeling Blizzard kind of knew that Druid is, in my opinion, Druid's a little broken. It was not hard for me to make this build. I've got full Legendaries. Legendaries are not hard to get in the beta. They increased the drop rate of Legendaries for the beta. You can clearly tell if you go to a Curiosity Purveyor, which is basically your Kadala. She drops Legendaries like one out of every 3 items is a Legendary, and it's stupidly easy to get Obols, which are these. And yeah, it's not hard to do this, guys. It's really not. If you're struggling with it, this might be your first Diablo, and that's okay. I mean, everybody has to start somewhere, you know. But definite. Cannot stress this enough. Druid is not underpowered, guys. Even a werewolf build, which I am currently working on right now because I do have a lot of legendaries that for a werewolf build. I just haven't put it together yet, and I'm still grinding him up to level 25. Does not take a long time to do that. I really want to see what the werewolf can do. There seems to be a werewolf lightning build with the aspects, and I really want to try that. I think you're gonna see. There's a lot of variables with the druid and a lot of different build potentials, and I'm really excited to see that, guys. Druid's not. It's not a boring build. It's not a weak build. It's stupidly strong. Everybody I've played with, I've played with a lot of people this beta weekend, and they're quite shocked at how much damage my druid is putting out, and rightfully so. I mean, I'm putting out just thousands of damage in no time. I mean, I was playing it a little carelessly for this video, but it's It's not something to scoff at. That's for sure. As you see, the only downside, and I saw somebody say this on the forums, but the lack of being able to, you have to put the pets in your skill slots in order for them to exist, in order for them to be used. I understand the frustration there, but with this aspect right here, if you didn't have to have them in your skill slots, that would make that way too far powerful. They'd have to get rid of the aspect. So I don't think it's a bad thing that you can have the companion skill, or that you have to have the companion skills here. In fact, if I was able to go to level 100, which will be the max level on release, I would definitely power up my wolves as well. Also, fun fact, guys, if you did not know, these aspects are not exclusive to legendaries. None of them are. As far as I can tell, none of them are. I could be wrong, but after looking at the Codex of Power, which shows you all the aspects, it even tells you where to get them, because all of them are obtainable through dungeons. They're not dungeons that we have access to now. They're dungeons in other acts. Like Skoskelen, I believe, is going to be your Act 2. I believe Dry Steps is actually going to be your Act 3. Um, but all of these aspects are available through dungeons. And they're probably going to roll perfect, which means it is in your best interest to run these dungeons, get these aspects, and get the max for these specific um, aspects. So, with that being said, that means legendaries aren't all that special. So either we're only being shown a limited amount of legendaries currently, or the next tier of item, not set items, but mythic items that they've talked about, I believe those are going to have special class powers that will not be available for legendaries. And I don't think you're going to be able to draw them out like you can with the aspects. I think it's going to make them a lot more sought after. The game does have an active trade system. Items are not easily bound to you anymore. I could trade any of these that I wanted to, even this one yet. Oh no, this one is account bound. But if you look, none of the other ones are account bound. I could trade any of these. So we are going to see the return of a trade system like we had in Diablo 2, which is where Diablo 3 failed, in my opinion. Not being able to trade on a grindy loot game was very, very silly by Blizzard. They should have never done that. Having an economy, being able to trade with other players, the good old WG, what you got, and posting up all the items you have for trade. I really excited to see a return for that. Again, guys, Druid's not a weak build. I've got my willpower over 100. I'm stacked with all kinds of skills. I would tweak this a little bit more. There's another aspect I really want to put on it. I don't have any aspects on me. They're in my stash in town. There's another aspect I want to put on this build. I just haven't found a good. I want to find a better amulet before I put a new aspect on it. And then I want to move this aspect to a different item, which, yeah, I could go into explanation on how aspects work, because you have offensive, defensive, resource, all kinds of different aspects. And based on what they are, determines what they can go on as far as items. But I'm not going to go into that. I just wanted to make this quick video to say, guys, Druid's a solid build, and I'm kind of disappointed with how many people are like, oh, Druid's underwhelming, Druid's underpowered, Druid can't take on anything, fighting bosses with a Druid is a slog. I melt bosses, and I don't even really have to heal, barely ever. And at the end of a boss fight, it's just a bunch of red potions sitting around it because I didn't even have to pick them up. I mean, it's you guys are missing out on Druid class. Druid class is kind of where it's at. I could critique this and pull this apart a little bit and tell you that, for example, the whirlwind ability is a little lackluster compared to the whirlwind ability that we had in Diablo 2. I agree. I do agree with that, and I wish it was a little more flashy, but You have to remember this is a much darker Diablo, even darker, the darkest one yet, in my opinion. Quite deranged, and you're not gonna see bright, flashy colors. And ignore that my druid looks like a giant chicken, and it's called Big Bad Wolf. The intention with this druid was to be a werewolf build, and I found very quickly that I wasn't doing good as a werewolf build once I got into the teens with the druid, and that's because I didn't have the aspects to really buff it and make it better. But going into elemental was the obvious choice to level at first, and then get some aspects under my belt and really just go to town with the elemental build. But I will be doing a werewolf build as well. I will not make a video on it. I probably won't make another build guide or anything. If you guys want to see one, let me know in the comments. I'll see what I can work out. Maybe I can. I know a lot of people who are going to play this. I know a lot of people, a lot of Diablo fans, and maybe I can work out something with them, and we can get build guides going on the channel once Diablo 4 launches. We'll see. But let me know if you guys want to see more build guides. It could be fun to talk about. I have a big passion for Diablo. I've been playing it for a long time, and yeah. So guys, normally I stream over on Twitch, Curses Gaming. Go follow me over there. That's where you're gonna find me most often. There's Discord as well. I will put it in the description of the video below. I just wanted to make this quick thing to show you guys what the Druid could really do, and what a better way than to have the Butcher show up and me just absolutely melt him. I mean, he wasn't an issue at all. He almost got me, but like I said, I wasn't being careful. So, yeah, go ahead and like the video, guys, and I will see you guys over on Twitch. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Bye, guys.